Bitch. We wasting recording.
Stop! I'm doing it right now. Okay, do it. Okay, anyway, all right, I'm ready.
Okay, should I
5, 4, 3, 2, 7.
Oh,
And
okay,
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi.
Okay, look, Black in the City Live.
Ooh.
And in color, okay?
I am definitely
In color, okay. Lighting can be hard for, the brights and then, chocolates. So, like.
The bright from chocolates, you just divided us.
No, I'm saying lighting
people.
can be difficult.
You
gotta catch all your
We're the
color.
same color.
Oh, we are? So, y'all can't call me light skin no more.
Who called you that?
Everybody. Who calls me beige all the time.
We're white. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't
We're
stand
Black
her.
in the City podcast.
Okay.
Everybody white.
I can't stand her.
That's boring.
She's annoying. We're back. It is episode 115.
And we're coming to you visually. We usually come to you audibly. Come on, word.
We had to make some changes because the pandemic be shaking shit up. And we just need to figure out how to do what y'all have been asking for, like, probably as long as we've been making this podcast. And that's to create videos. I made the mistake today of saying that this is our first video. It is not. I forgot completely, like back in the day, aka a year ago when we were still recording in the kitchen. We did record a couple of videos.
Across this kitchen.
Okay.
like Tokyo Tony said to Black China.
You know what I'm saying? So we've actually recorded 4 visual episodes already. So this would be our 5th. And then moving forward until we're allowed back in the studio, we will just be uploading a video every Tuesday morning like we would a podcast episode on SoundCloud. So for those of you who are ride or die, Black in the City listeners, you will just have to get the video version. But I feel like it's easier now because people don't have like commutes and like all kinds of stuff. You can actually watch it. So I feel like it's a little bit better.
And people are at home, so you can
watch it whenever you want.
Get the visuals. Like I find myself, since this pandemic has started, since I worked from home more, I find myself being actually able to finish all my favorite podcasts and looking for new ones. So that's really cool. So I don't know. I think honestly,
I feel like I don't listen to enough stuff. That's something I realized until I did. I drove a little bit this weekend, which I normally don't. We might as well switch into our weekend update, but I was like running some errands, going back and forth between my house and here and like doing other stuff. And I was in the car and I was like jamming, fucking it up, listening to new music. And I was like, what feels different? And I'm like, oh, I don't listen to that much music during the day because I unfortunately can't listen to music and work really because I get distracted by the lyrics. So I'm not like other people who can like listen to work and like stay focused. So really I listen to most of my music either via commute, like the bus or going to work, and then in the car when I'm driving anywhere, but we haven't gone anywhere. So I can't listen. I haven't been listening to music and I realize I've been missing out on that. So I'm trying to.
How do you work and not listen to music?
I can have TV playing because I'm not like cued in. I don't care. It just becomes background noise. When I listen to music, I'm obviously listening to music that I like. So I end up like, because it's in my headphones, and then I really end up like really listening and vibing, and then I'm distracted from what I'm actually doing, and I realize that it derails me most of the time than like actually helping me function. If I'm doing like administrative tasks, like things that are like very brainless,
email real quick,
then I can listen to music. But most of my work is like not brainless. So I'm usually doing a lot of like actually like thinking things through and writing docs and like other stuff like that. So I can't focus. But I digress. This weekend was very fun. I don't know what I did because every day is the same day. I did some cooking and we did some grocery shopping, and I feel like that's pretty much probably what I did the entire weekend. Grocery shopped, did a little bit of driving, running some errands and stuff, which was very nice because it was really sunny. The weather's getting good here, so
it's been
chilly.
It's supposed to get chilly soon.
Why?
It's supposed to rain or something.
It's snowing in Colorado right now, so
that's weird. Yeah, I think. It's been, honestly, I feel like every day's getting into the other. I think on the music tip, I gotta listen to stuff to hype me up because I've been getting bored. I gotta get up. Like, I really, I'm going to have a career someday where I can just you know, be who I am in terms of like my attention span is slow. Like it's not slow, it's very short.
Same.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I'll be doing a task, but then I gotta switch to another task. You know what I'm saying? Before I finish the other one.
Yeah.
So I have to have a list of discipline for myself because, you know, I'll be listening to like Meg.
Same.
Because it keeps me hyped. But if I put
I
it
do it
on,
when I'm getting ready or when I'm working out, and then it kind of keeps me up for most of the day.
yeah, I gotta turn on some hype music when I'm getting started or whatever. Listen to a pod, like this morning I listened to Insecurity. Like
I need to start
listen
listening.
Yeah, because I like to hear their Crystal and Hey Friend Hey. I like to hear their perspectives because sometimes it aligns with mine, sometimes it doesn't. Especially fresh off the show. So for me, I gotta listen to it all. But like when I find myself getting super distracted, I have to take my headphones out and then put it like on Alexa or something and let it play as a background noise
Instead of like in your ear.
Yeah, it just depends. Like you said, it depends on what you're doing. But this weekend,
What did you do?
what did I
You
do?
social distance.
I definitely social distance all weekend.
We got snacks, y'all. I don't know what to tell
Yeah,
y'all.
we got
It's
cookies.
420, so we got
Snacks. Happy 420 to you guys.
Mhm.
Great. Monday is beautiful. 420, 2020. So that's the thing. So what a date. So we're here. So this weekend I stayed home on Friday, which you guys know. Like as avid listeners, you guys know that I don't be
We'd be out on
home.
the
I either
street.
be at work or and then after work I'd be on the streets. We'll be on the streets together wherever that is.
Wherever the
So-
streets are closed.
Yeah, I was on Friday. I was really just like, yo, right now I would really be out. Like we would be at like Red Lounge or still like we would be end up at Still Liquor at the end of the
Probably.
night. Like we
Anywhere, anywhere.
That's where we would usually be. And so I stayed home and I did a happy hour with my friends and we all
Cute.
got really lit together.
Was your bar girl fucking you up again? The bottle girl?
Yeah, the bottle girl.
She be
She did. She had some other friends that were there too. That kept serving me.
Ah, yes.
I don't know, this time they were doing a lot of cider, they just kept overfilling it, was a lot. And so then on Saturday I went to work. I worked, I am a frontline worker.
Absolutely.
So I worked on Saturday and Sunday. What did I do on Sunday night? Oh yeah, on Sunday night I worked until like 7 and then I came home and then I like made this bussin' burrito. Shout out to my homie Daisha because she's always saying bussin', so I've been saying that a lot. So
Almost say it too. That's where I got it from.
but it was bussin'. Like let me tell you guys. Let's go over it real quick because we
What
have
was
some
it?
time. Okay, so I was being lazy with it, but okay. Really, you just get a flour tortilla.
Ugh.
Get flour tortilla. I like flour tortilla.
Corn. Not for
corn-
burritos, but for tacos.
But it's for burritos.
I like corn for burritos when they're at like Chipotle or whatever, but
I've never had a corn burrito. That's a bit excessive.
no, that's what their tortillas are. They're not flour tortillas. They're mostly corn.
Wow, what a game. Yeah, so
But corn for tacos for sure.
yeah, no, for burritos, I gotta do flour tortillas. So what I do is, you know, you gotta get the griddle or whatever, put it on. You gotta put it on the stove and like
So
warm
you
it.
flip it.
Yeah, you flip
nicely.
it and then get the cheese. But I like to do like a little bit of a gordito crunch type burrito.
Okay, Taco Bell.
Right, low keto. And so
Wait, okay, but tell us what that means.
so it's like a gordito crunch is pretty much like a big
It's like a
taco, but it's like in the middle is the hard shell. There's a hard shell, but it's around it's a soft. So it's like a flour. So inside it's hard to explain. So it's like a taco, right? It's a
Yeah.
hard shell taco, but it's
Yeah.
wrapped around with a flour tortilla, so it's soft and crunchy. So when you bite it, it's like crunch, gordito. That's what happens.
Interesting.
Gordito crunch. So I did that, but it only came about because I was trying to use 2 tortillas and one of them got a little hard, so now it's a gordito crunch. So but then you use ground turkey breast. You can use any ground meat, any meat you like.
Yeah.
I use ground turkey breast, season it really well. Taco seasoning, garlic powder, salt, pepper, all the seasoning.
Okay.
And then you gotta
What's
put
up, babe?
everything but the elote seasoning from Trader Joe's bussin'. Then you gotta put kidney beans. And then you put there's a certain corn, you put some corn in there, you put some cabbage, use plain yogurt instead of sour cream because it's better for you. Then I put salsa, wrap that hoe up. It's murder she wrote.
Was it mild or spicy salsa?
It was mild. It's mild. I can't do spicy because you know my stomach be doing flips. But it was
Everything you needed and more.
Father God, we thank you.
I love when that happens. We've been cooking. I feel like everybody's been cooking since we're in quarantine. And I would just love for people to pass over their recipes. So like feel free to like DM or like email or send us all your recipes, because I haven't got nothing to do but cook. So
Right.
I want as many recipes as possible. Y'all know I don't really use recipes so much. I'd be reading the recipe through and then wing it, make it my own. So I like recipes to give me the direction. Where do
Right,
I like
right.
what direction? Where do I need to go? And then I'll get there by myself. But
Yeah.
just like tell me what area we starting in. You know?
I can't give measurements, you know, because
I don't know
know.
what to tell you.
Cause for me, when I be
Cooking
cooking,
with your high ass. Like,
I'm distracted. I'm distracted. Why? Because people just get on social media and really just like are weirdos. So I don't really know what to say. Because I got a notification on my phone from some random weirdo commenting on one of our photos just now. So
what a creep.
yeah.
Creep.
So it's just, I was just thinking about. But yeah, pretty much when it comes to cooking and stuff, I don't do the whole measuring
exact
stuff.
measurements?
No, it's just like how does it taste?
I saw a tweet on Twitter that was like, you know how you'll say like one thing is greater than the other, and it was like seasoning until your ancestors tell you to stop
Right.
is better than using exact measurements. And that's how I be feeling. I be tossing the seasoning there, be mixing it up, smell it, see the color, decide, be like, nah, we need a little bit more. Like we just,
Yeah, you just base it on what.
as long as you don't do that with salt, you're fine. Cause salt, no, I mean,
Yeah, you can't overdo it with
that's
salt.
what I mean. I
Salt,
don't mean
you
like
gotta
exact
be there.
measurements, but you can't just be like
Yeah, salt, you gotta like get that ginger.
just a little bit of.
Because if you think about it, like for me when I cook, pretty much everything that I cook, like you definitely gotta have salt.
But
like,
you can't
so-
OD.
You can't OD. I like when I do salt, it's like a sprint, you know, just you know, kind of like even,
Salt
but
baby.
not too much, just a little bit. Just a little bit because
Just shake.
everything gotta have like garlic powder in there. So there's other things that are salty that I put in there.
Well, okay,
Like,
what are your like? And we're like clearly not
go-to
on
seasonings.
topic,
It
but
doesn't
what are
matter-
your
It doesn't
like?
matter what are you guys doing. It's for
Not
you.
nothing. If what if
Right.
like what are
They
your
do
like
nothing.
top like 5 or 6 seasonings that are like your base for like all the like things that you
For
cook, like, that
everything.
you like always have?
That I always have. I will say everyday seasoning from Trader Joe's because it's just like a mix of like
Oh,
you
it's
know
like what is in
like
it?
yeah, there's a mix of seasonings in there. Salt for sure. Which you said how many?
I said like 5, like your top 5. That was an arbitrary number.
Garlic powder always. When I run out of garlic powder, it's like Armageddon. It's a lot. And then cayenne pepper for sure. And then what else? Like those are like my bases. Like those are my base outfit. Like just
Yeah.
like you gotta have. I'm not a person that likes hot stuff, but you gotta have cayenne pepper for a little sweet heat.
Okay, are there veggies that you always use too, like for things?
Absolutely.
Okay, what are your like go-to veggies?
Green onions and broccoli off top.
I can make everything you make all the time.
And most of the things I make, I always have green onion. Everything that I make always has green onions in it in some form or another, or broccoli.
Interesting.
Like those are
Broccoli's
my
my favorite.
broccoli is my favorite one. Like I like asparagus, but I don't put asparagus with like everything. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can. I had asparagus today though. It was good.
Yeah, but a green onion, and you can bet your bottom dollar in every dish that I make that there's gonna be green onions in there. Broccoli doesn't go with everything, but
And a lot of things it's in there.
yeah, and garlic. Garlic. You gotta have garlic because I love garlic. I love minced garlic. I love garlic powder. Like everything garlic, I love it.
Yeah, I always go with fresh garlic or minced garlic from Trader Joe's. But okay, so my like top 5 seasonings would obviously be salt, and I feel like I don't know if we need to include that because if y'all don't use salt, like
If you listen,
I don't
listen to quote Miss the Great Takia Nicole from Getting Grown. If you are not using salt in your food, I'm like totally like paraphrasing. If you're not using salt in your food, you are not seasoning your food.
Period. Poo.
Just saying.
A word. That's
Now, and if you
Negro
have health
proverb.
issues that you know that prevent you from
stipulate
doing salt,
that, then
that's
fine.
different. But if you like, we talking about like food like
Yes, a
good
regular
food,
person.
it has salt in it. Yeah.
It always does. So I always use salt, black pepper, thyme, paprika, cayenne pepper.
Oh, you cook.
Yeah. And I
just
usually
started
always
to
have
cook.
like cloves or allspice. It's something that's like always, and that's like the very West Indian. Like that's like the base of West Indian flavoring. Really, is that cloves and allspice flavor. But then I always
Whatever. It's like, you know, base. So
It's
this is like,
it's like the
so
flavor.
my seasonings are like the base of like, you know,
No,
black
I said
Tacoma.
Caribbean seasoning.
Yeah, this is like Tacomian seasoning. I didn't have any Lowry, so don't, or like, what is it? What's the other one? Johnny's. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't use it, so
I was like,
I didn't use it,
I
yeah.
know. And the veggies I always have like regular, like, white onion. So either
They're
white
gonna
or
drag us. They're gonna say
what?
we don't know how to cook.
Niggas know I know how to
Gentlemen.
cook, so they can't say nothing.
What about me?
And I've had her food. We got some meatballs right over here that we're eating.
You
and
haven't
she
had my
had
like food, you know?
I don't know. Have I?
No, because you always cook.
I do be cooking.
And she doesn't like really like let me help her, so it's like weird.
Well, you can't help me if you don't know what I'm cooking.
Well, you could at least tell me. You let me cut something one time.
Oh, that was helpful.
Don't you feel like I'm a child under the stairs?
Okay, wait.
Well,
okay.
look at you. You made it
Okay.
funny. Oh God.
I can't. Okay, I always use onion, oftentimes green onion. I use them today. And then I always use garlic, tomato. Yeah, garlic, tomato, onion, thyme. And I feel like I'm missing something that I always be tossing in there. But maybe not. I often like to
It's
actually like to
always
cook with
somehow.
serrano
Did you
peppers.
say cayenne already?
I said cayenne pepper, but
Yeah,
I
'cause
always,
she's-
like veggies I always cut up, like I always either use serrano peppers or I'm just making like regular everyday food, but and serranos are the best and they're hella cheap, but if I'm like cooking any like West Indian food, I always have to use Scotch bonnet peppers, otherwise my dad would be really upset. Oh,
Yeah.
Scotch bonnets are,
This little orange one's enough.
yeah, the habanero peppers, yeah.
Yeah, I know they're called Scotch bonnets.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because you cooked last week, were those shallots or were those red onions?
Red onions that I use. Shallots have a different flavor, but yeah.
Yeah, I just got some shallots today.
Nigerians always red onion people, so there's often red onions
With
around,
everything,
so
yeah.
I just end up using what we got.
I think I was just like, I've been getting inspired to like all my friends that like
Red,
actually
purple.
cook. I've been like starting to like cook more and wanting to cook more and adding other things in my dishes. So like today I said, so the pasta you made last week, that was inspiring.
Did I give you leftovers, right?
You did. I added some like extra shrimp.
Hey, I still got
like
some in the fridge.
I just got a new bag of shrimp today. I was like, yo, I need some more shrimp in there. But
Drop it in there.
I definitely had like that pasta for breakfast one day. Whatever, who cares?
Eat what you want, it's your
Yeah,
house.
I had it. But I was looking at Clark's Instagram. Shout out to Clark.
Hey, Clark.
I was looking at Clark's Instagram and he was just doing this very detailed tutorial of making it was like a lobster tail like pasta, and it was really good. So yeah, follow Clark at
He be
Imprelligent on
cooking.
Instagram. It was
Wait, how do
very
you
thorough.
pronounce his Instagram name?
Imprelligent.
I know, but what did you say before that? It sounded like you had a French accent when you
Oh.
said it.
Oh, shut up!
I
I
was
don't know.
like, wait a minute, I thought I was pronouncing it wrong. You said like intelligent. Like you hit
No.
me with the French
Oh,
accent.
I
That's why I was like, oh, am I been saying it wrong?
Well, you heard it. You seen it.
I was like, I didn't know it was all of that. Okay, but we're sorry. We obviously are very hungry, it's a pandemic. All we do
It's a
is
pandemic. Everyone's
cook
eating.
and eat.
And
But
share with us some of you guys' like favorite go-to recipes that
What
you're
can
doing
you
during
learn?
this pandemic, or what are you like leaning your energies to during the pandemic? Because I find myself turning into a nester
yeah.
as if I'm about to
I'm
be a
trying
hamster
new
or something.
recipes. Like I have a lamb recipe I want to try. I got some lamb shanks. I'm gonna try something new. But we be pushing ourselves.
Ooh.
Send us your recipe. We
Go
gonna see
ahead,
what
go
I
ahead
get.
and send them recipes.
Okay.
Yeah, turn up.
Should we talk about politics or like?
Do you guys want to talk about politics? Okay.
I have two good ones. So like very
Let's
fun.
see.
Let's make
Let's
fun
see.
of the rest
I'm
of the
with
free
it.
world. But
I'm with it.
Um,
And mind you, if we look at our phones, it's because we're looking at our notes, guys.
yes. Well, most.
Or at
of
least
us.
me. Most of us are looking at our notes.
She never looking at the.
I do be looking at my notes.
She's never looking at them. Okay, so we
Sometimes people want to
obviously.
tell us stuff too when we're recording.
That's true. They do want to tell us stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
She almost whipped me right in the eyeball with her hair, y'all. Did y'all see that?
That's
I
fine.
almost lost
If
an eye.
I did it, it's for a future something that she did to me or something that she did before that she needed to pay back on. Okay?
Whatever. Okay.
She hits me.
In politics today.
I'm looking at the notes.
So we know, obviously, hopefully y'all have been paying attention, but we are still at stay-at-home orders, and Seattle or Washington State as a whole actually is ordered to shelter in place.
Yep.
Most of the country, 97% of the country is under some kind of lockdown stay-at-home order. Not everybody is as severe as shelter in place, but everybody has some sort of social distancing order in place. And we saw that over the weekend on Sunday, a couple of cities, including, this is embarrassing me, Denver, there have been people who have organized protests in response to social distancing efforts, which are meant to save us all. So in Colorado, but they also granted to people's defense, which I was very proud of in Colorado, there were counter protests that were going on as well to get people to like come to their senses, because it's really not rocket science. It's very basic. And so we see, and I hope y'all know by now, but obviously social distancing is meant to protect us and to curb the spread of COVID-19, right? And we do know that obviously there are very severe impacts to our economy from everybody staying home. Obviously, people aren't going to work unless you are in a role or work for a company where you can work remotely, but that is not the large majority of the United States. So most people are not working, businesses are closing, money is not being spent because money is obviously not being made. And these efforts have led to 22 million claims for unemployment, which is up like, I think it said like 100 something percent for this time in general. Like, so this time last year or the year before. Clearly that's not our normal amount of people who are unemployed. So there's a lot going on. So in Washington and Colorado this past Sunday, there were hundreds of people who were around protesting the closure of business and wanting to
it makes no sense.
Establish their dominance as humans and say that people are arguing, and by people I mean the radical right. And Donald Trump has a lot to do with this, and I'll get to that also. But the radical right in particular has been setting up these protests to say that it is against their human rights and against their free will to be restricted into their homes, regardless of the reason or purpose for those demands, right? So people are saying, it's my right, I should be able to risk what I want. If I want to go outside, I should be able to go do that. If I want to go to work, I should be able to do that. All of these very stupid things that don't make any sense. We understand that nobody wants to be isolated, but we understand why we're doing it. And what's crazy to me is like, we have seen a billion pandemic movies, all kinds of things that are painfully accurate right now. And it's like, you don't even have to work hard to visualize it. We know that staying home stops us from dying, period. And it protects the vulnerable. It doesn't just protect us, it protects those around us, because there is a large percentage of the population that will be asymptomatic carriers. And by that, they mean people who are carrying the virus and spreading it, but do not get sick. So you can feel fine and be fine and whatever the case may be, but you are just giving corona to all the people that you come into contact with. So just simply because you feel good doesn't mean that you aren't a conduit for spreading this virus everywhere.
Yeah, also understanding, it had to be explained to me yesterday at work, like, we're wearing these masks and stuff, not because these masks are not doing anything, but we're protecting. We're not just it's not really protecting you, but it's protecting other people from you.
Right. If you don't know you're carrying it, you can be spreading it. So you're protecting us when you're doing that.
Like that. So you got to think about it in that way. It's like, it's a really interesting time in the world right now where we really have to look out for each other. So that I see people, it kind of sucks because I've seen people today walking around and nobody has a mask on, like groups of people, and I'm just like, I know that ain't y'all's quarantine circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I think it's like little things that are crazy like that. And sidebar, not to interrupt, but today I got to see my mom, and I haven't seen my mom in 2 months. And so for me, I already don't go home anyway, so it's not like, it's not normal for me not to go home. But it's like the idea that it's like a forced not
being able to. You couldn't go home for Easter and like things that you normally go home for.
Yeah, I couldn't go home for Easter. I couldn't even hug my mom when I saw her today because she's a part of the at-risk group. Like, our contact was very minimal today, and so just to have that be a reality is really stressful. And the thought that I could possibly infect someone and cause them to lose their life is actually very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's really scary reality that we're in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help us that we have a president that thinks that this is a fucking game. Yeah. So a lot of these protests were spurred on by the fact that Donald Trump was kind of tweeting to incite this. Let me locate that tweet. Where did he say? Okay, so Donald Trump began fueling reopening protests in Michigan, Minnesota, and Virginia in particular on Friday, like late Friday afternoon, urging people to liberate the states, right? He defended the protesters by saying on Sunday that they have got cabin fever and that their life is taken away from them, or like their lives were taken away from them. Like, of course, that's how they're going to react. When really, that is not how most of our country is reacting, because the majority of our country has sense, and that is bipartisan, right? That's why I was really careful to say the radical right, because there are a lot of moderates who know better. There are a lot of moderates and Republicans who are healthcare workers who understand that science is a bipartisan issue. There is no reason to politicize something that is fundamental fact. We don't need conjecture to tell us what's happening. We're watching thousands of people have died, and we'll likely watch hundreds of thousands more die if we aren't careful and intentional, and that is just science. It doesn't matter what your political beliefs are. And so for the leader of our country and other people like fake doctors, like Dr. Phil, who is not a doctor, to get on TV and say, it doesn't matter, there are more things that kill us every year, like more things are not, like he compared it to heart disease, and then he also compared it to car accidents that kill people. Like those things are not highly communicable diseases. Like you can't catch a car accident through the fucking air. So these things are not the same to compare, but people watch these shows and believe these people and take it, seriously, because people don't really read for themselves, and a large population of our country isn't well educated through no fault of their own. But it makes it very easy to trust the people who are in television, who you think are real doctors or who you think have your best interests, because and that just proves the point why media is so important and why reporters have such an important job. It really matters what people say, which is why it's very dangerous, the space that we're in. But I just wanted to share some of the things that people have written down on their what do you call them? Posters at these rallies. And some of them say, will not comply. Half these people don't have masks on. There are hundreds of people at these protests. Hashtag fake crisis. Ironically, there are people in the crowds who do have on face masks. So it's like, so are you protesting it because it don't make sense, but you're still protecting yourself just in case we're right? That doesn't make a lot of sense for y'all to be out here saying you don't need to cover your face. It's your free will. Some of these signs say, time and place of the protest, come if you're sick. Like come if you're sick or not, like it's your choice. You can do what you want. Like
people are really being crazy. Like what? Honestly, I was having a conversation with someone,
COVID is a lie.
I was having a conversation about someone about the Spanish flu and like the history of that, and it feels like history is trying to repeat itself.
Kinda.
Because he was saying repeating itself. Yeah, you know about that, right? Like, yeah, all those people that, for those of you that don't know about it, how it was explained to me, because I'm not very versed on it, it's like, okay, so the Spanish flu comes through, 3 to 5 million people die after they decide to do some quarantine and actually follow the rules. And when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, 3 to 5 million people dying in the world is not a lot of people. I'm not saying any life lost is a life lost. Yeah. It's very important. And so then the World War ended. I think it was 2. Was it 2 or 3? 2. Ended, and then people were like, "Oh hell yeah, turn up!" AKA summer in Seattle.
Yeah, or
anywhere. Anytime the sun comes out. I'm telling you, anytime a peak of sun comes out in Seattle,
legs be out.
People are wearing
shorts like it's 90 degrees
white people
outside.
be tanning. It's crazy. And so, then after the wars, where people are like, "Oh hell yeah, let's turn up, pop the Henny. We about to celebrate in big crowds." 20 million people died.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is our reality right now, that it's possible if people, like, these states are opening back up real quick. Like, Trump is saying they open it up, like...
So we had, like, a little bit of a video mishap, so we don't remember what we were talking about, but we know we were talking about Donald Trump. We just don't know exactly what we were talking about, word for word, but she was saying something about Donald, probably that he's, not good at his job, but that's okay. We're just gonna move on.
We did talk about Donald, yeah, but it was like opening up the states, where we were saying...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were saying pretty much, like, people are protesting, but that's stupid because the death toll is gonna rise.
Oh,
I don't think this is gonna happen in Seattle. Even if Seattle tried to, rise up like that, our governor, he's not having it. So...
Jay Inslee don't be
he's very he's done everything besides cuss us out, and that's just where we're at with it, man.
He was so mad. I remember he was talking about people being at the beach.
Yeah, where the young folks hang out. He was pissed. So
he was not going nowhere.
We're good. We're not going nowhere.
We're not.
But who knows for how long? Look, the bikers are out. Look at y'all. Well, at least they're social distancing.
Hopefully, shoot. They got
their helmets on, and they're not that. I mean, how can they get to each other?
They can't. I only had one other thing to talk about. Just really, people, please just isolate, do what you're supposed to, stay inside.
So we
know
can
it
go
sucks,
outside.
but the more we stay inside, the faster we get to go outside.
Ground
And we get
country.
to actually get this decade started, which I feel like we've started this decade on a terrible foot. And it's like not boding well. So let's just stay home so we can all do what we want. The only other thing that I had, and I realized we talked about social distancing and Donald Trump for a while, but it's important stuff. Please stay home. Encourage your friends to stay home. There are lots of places that are making masks out of like cloth material for free, or places that you can donate to that's giving it to healthcare workers and people who need them. So like, take care of yourself, protect your community, invest in your community in those ways. It will help us all get out of here much faster. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the fact, it's more white peopling really, but which it just, it just really boggles my mind, the heights and the reaches that these, white folks like to take. It's really strange. So people really, okay, and by people, I mean white people, I'm just gonna, go off, for a minute, okay?
Keep it a buck.
A whole buck. It really just grinds my gears, but also like boggles my mind, the lengths that white people and others, but the pack is led by white people, go because they cannot say nigga. It is something that just like infuriates every other race to the point where they feel the need to like fucking.
That's how Kia talks. That's how she said it. Really, it amazes me.
Like
just
all
how
of
people
them.
are you.
All of them. I wanted
Yeah.
to really display how all of them be fucking pissing me off. But y'all can't say nigga, and y'all want to do everything to compare your struggles to those of black people and say that other words somehow are now equal to nigga, when really y'all aren't getting murdered, lynched, subjugated, families ripped apart, stolen, murdered for fun, used for sex objects, used for bare knuckle boxing to the death. Like, all these things are not tied to the weight of a word like Karen per se. Not a word, a name. But I just want to say it before I even go into what I'm even talking about. There is no other word in the English language, and I would probably argue maybe any other language, at least of today's standards, that is as bad or compared to nigga. And you know why? Because nigga is the only word that you can't actually fucking say on TV, or you can't write it. Y'all gotta say the N-word. So if you can compare the N-word to any other word that you can say, it is not the same. They aren't the same. They will never be the same, and they aren't equitable. So please stop trying to make them one and the same. So the reason why I'm going on this rampage is because
Tell us why.
Tell
them why you're mad.
Ooh, this very Karen, woman doing the most Karen thing she could say. And she said, well, she shared, this is on Twitter.
She said it's Emily. What is that?
And we're going to use her
She's not
in a
even
minute.
real.
But it's a little meme that this Emily person has shared. And it says, Dear Millennials, please stop saying Karen. Karen, in quotes, is a sexist and racist. So they're just incorrect.
You can be racist against white people.
You can't, right. Term equivalent to the N-word for white women. Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of a woman's right to stand up for themselves. And this Emily person retweeted it and said, yes, the K word is stronger than the N-word. I'm gonna read that one more time. She said the K word is stronger than the N-word.
What?
She said, at least currently. She said, misogyny and the patriarchy have been around longer than slavery. Just don't use either, okay? And I just want y'all to know that, as you would expect, Twitter went fucking bananas on this.
Bananas.
Like, it doesn't make sense. People have shared all kinds of comedian references and links and just read this woman for filth. But what's really crazy is that some people really think that there are words that are somehow comparable to the N-word because they want to say them so bad, or they hear us saying it, so somehow they think that it then absolves them or absolves the word of its original weight, which it never will.
And there's going to be plenty of people that say, "Oh, nobody should be using it," and shit. And so, but this is
it's my choice. Every black person has a choice individually to decide whether or not they choose to use the word.
Yeah, and I'll tell you my real problem with this is that you white women, I just want to talk to you real quick. What's up? That you guys think the arrogance, the audacity, the gall, the nerve, the audacity again, because you have it, that you guys think that Karen can replace Becky.
First and foremost,
how dare
Becky
you
is
think,
the original.
If Becky is the original, how dare you think that you can replace Karen?
Don't nobody care about y'all. I would also just
come on now. Like Becky did a lot of things so that Karen could walk.
Like it don't, and it's just
a lot of things.
The word also. We didn't pick nigga as a name. We didn't like come across the Gold Coast with that and was like, hey, this is how we refer to ourselves. Like this word was given to us. This word was selected in order to subjugate an entire race of people, to remind them that they are second-class citizens and will never be equal under the eyes of the law or society at whole. That word was specifically chosen. Y'all get generalized and characterized as Karen's, Becky's, Brittany's, whatever it might be, based on right, but based on things that you chose to do, based on your decisions, based on things that you wanting to talk to the manager,
based on you calling the police on black people for doing cookouts, based on you not minding your own business. So it's based on what you do. We get called niggas just for breathing,
being born,
so,
existing.
Yeah. So
y'all don't know how to act, so we call you out on your bullshit that's often white supremacist, sexist, and based in white feminism that excludes all other women. That's also who they're talking about. So like, it don't have nothing to do with us and has everything to do with what choices y'all choose to make. Don't cry now when you're called out. Oh, don't cry at all, because you deserve every inch you get.
Go run and hide, like Nene Leakes said. Go run and hide and cry.
Okay, and leave us out of it, just like the little white girl and her boyfriend who posted that very racist TikTok, and
then she blamed it on her boyfriend. She was like, he's been a racist, and then she tried to like bring
normalize the behavior.
No, y'all was saying nigger, all this stuff. You guys were doing that, and she's got it. Like, she's a young girl, but you got to take.
Did you see her apologies?
Yeah, I wasn't with it. I was just like, I wrote in the conversation. I was like, girl, shut up.
And then the second thing, not only did she write an apology that was really literally like littered with racism, but then she, after people were like, bitch, we don't give a fuck. Then she got kicked out of school, and then she made a post of her crying, which wasn't real, and said like,
she showed her face.
Yeah, and she said, fuck it, like black people have always been garbage. Like I don't care anymore. Like y'all.
That's what she said.
Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but she literally made a post saying like, I'm being kicked out of school. Like fuck it, I don't care anymore. Like,
well, that's what you get, you dumbass.
Yeah, and she's like, y'all have ruined my life, and then just went like on a little racist tirade. So it's like, bitch, we saw through your original.
Was she in high school or college?
Getting ready to go to college.
Oh, whatever. That's what you get, you little.
Ruin your life. But what people were calling out was like, what was her argument? Like, one mistake shouldn't impact the rest of my life. And I'm like, wow, white people be one mistaking black and brown people all the way under the fucking jail. Oh, when it's white people who make mistakes, or particularly when they're racist mistakes and they're being called on it, all of a sudden it's like, you should forgive me and believe my character, but y'all will smoke your blunt and then lock niggas up in jail for doing what you're doing right now.
And
but
so
one mistake.
We're supposed to feel bad for you because you wanted to be racist, and we ruined your life. We made you do that racist video because it's our fault. Welcome to the real world, sweetheart. And if you want to square up, my address is. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, like really, it's like drop the pin though. But honestly, it's like if you want to be a real woman, I'll show you what real women do. Real women sacrifice. To quote Monique from Precious. Anyway.
But why would you? I just like don't understand, especially like teenagers. People would say young people.
No, she's a grown woman.
I'm talking about understanding the internet. Like she's 18. She's a grown up. She understands right from wrong at a very basic level. But like these teenage people, like they don't understand. I'm like, no, they don't know anything except the internet. So I know she knows.
She knows that
they know that we can find them. That's what's crazy. It's like y'all watch how the internet works. Y'all know better than we do.
Yeah.
How easy it is to find people, and y'all think that posting these videos to the entire free world, that no one is gonna be like, that's wrong. We're gonna tell someone and let them know what kind of person you are. Like you can't be making that mistake in 2020. You know.
But it's also like, welcome to the real world, sweetheart. You're not even a sweetheart. Welcome to the real world, because when you do things, especially things that are on the internet,
Consequences.
there's consequences to every action. For every action, there is a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
You can lose a job for, yes, something that you posted on Twitter.
Yep.
Like, because you were not representing your school properly. So, shout out to your school, your old school. Sorry, your old school for,
you even dip a
for
toe
making
in
that
it.
change. So I can't even. I don't have any empathy for you. I don't
No.
care, and especially because you try to throw a rock and hide your hands. You try to blame it on your boyfriend. Both you guys were equally wrong, and I'm not sorry that you're going through this. That's what you get.
Yeah.
You don't get to say disparaging things like that about a group of people who have suffered for hundreds of years, if not more.
400 to be exact.
That hundreds, thousands. We've been suffering. Okay, so we don't have time.
Now
I don't feel bad, so.
I don't. You see how to eat this cookie, take a sip of this alcohol.
Right,
We don't
honey,
care
I
about
had to
you.
go grease my scalp because I was stressed. But I will say, white women that are talking about, honestly, so shout out to Chris Ennis. He posted on Facebook, he was talking about the whole Karen thing. He's like, he said, I really want to see, somebody was like, I heard a white woman say nigga in the last couple days. He's like, I really want to see what happens. Like, if
Suck
I
the shit out of
the
you.
slur Karen, what's going to happen? And I was like, and I commented, I was like, I want all the smoke. Like, I really want to know what's going to happen if I call a white
Nothing.
woman.
I have done that.
Karen,
Karen, like
like-
white people. This back here.
Like Karen, but like it's just like, are you gonna run up?
They not. They will never.
Because
Say
what
the
are you
N-word and
gonna
I
do?
will suck the shit out of you though.
Yeah, it's quite possible that could happen to you.
Pretty
It's a
organic.
reflex though, so you gotta understand. But
Don't take the risk.
interesting. Yeah, I don't really care. Like we honestly, shout out. I saw because you shared what Kia posted.
I don't know.
Nakia, the comedian.
No, I know, but
Yeah,
I'm saying I don't
you
remember.
the meme.
Oh.
The Karen meme.
Oh.
And her caption was like, "White people, get this. This is your problem."
Yeah, fix
I was
it.
like, "Yo,
Yeah,
that's
with
hella real. This is your problem."
My name is Bennett. Our name is Bennett.
And
we ain't in it.
We just been over here drinking that hen dog. So
my parts.
yeah. So at the end of the day, she's talking. They want to talk about black people, but at the end of the day, you got kicked out of school, sweetheart.
Don't
So
care,
Talk
sweetheart.
about black people all you want, but most of us have degrees. So but
Particularly
you don't-
black women, 'cause-
particularly black
Yeah.
women, and that's what you were trying to get, but then
Hope you figured it
So
out.
hope you figure that out. Yeah, because a lot of the black people that you're also talking about, they're doing pretty well for themselves,
Okay. Okay, so we've had enough talking about the white people. We've been talking about white people for a while, but don't
I'm over
mind
it.
us. I'm over it. There was just a lot of white people in this past week.
I'm
so
not
I had
into
no
it. I don't have
choice.
any sympathy for a racist.
But now on to Insecure.
Let's talk about it because I want to talk new music, but let's talk about stuff that really, really matters. We're gonna talk new music, but whatever. We'll talk about it at the end. Well, we can't talk about that yet because I haven't watched it. Talk about it next week. Black.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, okay.
We'll worry about it.
We'll talk about Insecure real quick because there's a lot to unpack. So
What
we'll
did
get
you
into
think?
it. So I know that I feel like we need more variety in the sex scenes. First of all, I feel like season 2 gave us a lot more artists.
Variety, because there's more people.
Yeah, because I'm tired of seeing
now-
TSA based ass clap.
Well, she canceled him, so we good. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
spoiler alert.
yeah, spoiler alert. So you
fast
can watch
forward.
Insecure. Okay. So let's start from the top. You know, I like to start from the top.
Yeah.
Where did we start?
I don't know.
What scene?
Oh, it was Issa and Condola walking on the street, and she was
Yeah, okay,
calling
let's
her.
talk about that because I debriefed this with a couple people already.
Ooh, I haven't. I
The
wanted to
episode.
wait till now.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. Group text.
I know. I told him leave me out of it.
Oh, wow. So here we are because I'm going to give you my thoughts, but they're, it's just nothing's changed because my thoughts are my thoughts. Organically. Condola and Issa, that first scene was very awkward. I feel like they were doing too much.
You thought? I thought it was fine. I knew that it was. I thought it was accurate in the sense of I have witnessed or been in those situations where like you're talking to someone and you like them, you like spending time with them, but there's something that's like underlying, like we gonna have to talk about it. Like it's coming, we gonna have to talk about it. And so I thought that it was really kind of cute to see these two black women who are working together.
Cute.
Condola, it was cute, and they were working
Awkward.
together. No,
Yeah.
I mean like how Condola was happy for Issa, like I'm so
Yeah.
excited about
Yeah,
like what it's gonna
this
look
is
like,
that.
and then she was like, "Oh, I'm going away for the weekend." It did get awkward, but it was like it's better that they just were like, you know what? I don't want it to be awkward. I want us to get along. Like I don't want it to be weird every time his name comes up. And I think that I guess I thought the scene went like very well through the lifestyle of that conversation. Like good fun, and then really awkward and weird. How we're gonna get out of it, and then it ended with them laughing. Like
it did. It was awkward, but then in them talking about Lawrence and such. Honestly, I feel like it's what's gonna happen. I really feel like that Condoleezza
Rice.
Condolences. I feel like she's bisexual, and I feel like what's gonna happen is that she's.
Why do you think she's bisexual?
I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I feel like it's a plot twist that's gonna happen.
What?
I feel like she's gonna fall for Issa. Either she's gonna fall for Issa, or Lawrence is going to have sex with Issa one more time.
Oh, that is what I thought.
Yeah, one more time, and then it's going to break Condola's heart, and then her and Issa will no longer be friends, and boom, boom, boom. I feel like it's gonna happen. Either that or
option two is what I thought when I saw.
Or maybe both of them will happen. I bet you this is gonna happen. Listen, I'm telling you, there's some things that are gonna happen that I know that are gonna happen.
So
this happens. So the next, so we boot over to Lawrence and Condola. Is that where we're at?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, because that's not even real. Because we went to Molly and Andrew. Okay, that was interesting. Now I have some qualms about that.
Which scene? Because there was a lot of them.
First scene. Okay, so we're talking about.
Oh, dinner. Wasn't dinner the first scene?
We were talking about take the cake. When she let him take the cake.
Yeah. I knew she. I knew she got a work call.
He got a work call, and she let him bust that thing open. Mm-hmm. Okay, girl. He looked like he was doing the thing. She said, "Take the cake. Take it all."
Yeah.
He was doing her well. But then she wants to explore further into
who he is.
She wants to know more about him. She feels like he's very close off. He's not vulnerable.
Yeah.
But before we get to that scene, when she, tries to do some things to make that happen, they have all the girls get together, and that's Kelly, Tiffany.
Their Halloween costumes were on point. Molly stole my Halloween costume.
Yeah, Clover's, of course. Yeah.
But I loved, what's her name's Babs. She was dressed as Babs.
Yeah, of course. Kelly is forever my
Kelly.
I love it. I love her because she's so inappropriate and she just doesn't care. And I'm just like, yo.
She took me out when she was like, don't help her. She got to figure it out. Let her figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't help her.
Right. No, seriously. She be real. Like when she was really offering her body as a sacrifice. Nah, I wouldn't do that. We talked about that. I wouldn't do that. But that Bill Murray looking nigga, he looked like he was worth it. Shoot.
Okay.
He looked like he had a little change. But
mind my business.
That's my business too.
They were having conversations.
But this is where we're seeing the breakdown in Issa and Molly's relationship, because Kelly was like, she was telling her the story about Andrew and how they had already had sex. Kelly was like, I already know about that, and Issa's her best friend, so Issa's like, okay, and so that you start to see things where it's like, okay, so we're kind of not telling each other stuff, or we're not being on the same page as far as telling each other stuff as friends. So then you see the kind of divide there.
But do you think that it's like actively leaving each other out, or it's like, they even have the conversation there at dinner, like, she's like, oh, like, why didn't you tell me about so-and-so? And she's like, oh, you were busy, like, I called you, but you didn't answer. Or like, she said something like that. Like,
yeah.
You've been so busy, and I just figured I'd catch up with you at dinner. And so she's like, okay, like, so I feel like it's not necessarily like Issa or Molly are actively like, to the end, but, they weren't like actively, I'm not going to tell Issa, I'm not going to tell Molly. It was like, I just can't connect with my friend because we're both so busy. Okay, so like, don't judge us a second time, but we're just like we've been enjoying 420 and like, what?
But it's not a fault, it's a camera.
This wasn't prepared for our show, so like, we've just had to figure it out and we'll get it together for next week. We wanted to commit to the video, like we said, so we're just gonna keep it moving no matter how late we may or may not be. So that's what we're gonna do. But we were talking about the girls' night in Insecure, and they were at Kelly's house,
they were at somebody else's
house. They were in their Halloween costume, and
it was Tiffany's house for sure, because she was telling her husband to go to the door.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Tiffany's house, and they were having some girl time, and you were talking about how we were kind of watching how Issa and Molly were kind of having some friend troubles because they haven't been able to connect.
Yeah, they haven't been able to connect, and sometimes that can get lost in translation with friends. Sometimes you're at different points in your life. I think what Insecure has been doing since the last couple of episodes of last season to now is showing us, like, in real time, like, we're in the age range right now where friendships are changing for better or for worse, or for like different life transitions, like people are getting married, people are having babies. Like, relationships have to inevitably change because of those things. Because now you and your friends don't have the same similar interests. Like, if Makita had a baby, like, I would get it, but I wouldn't be able to completely understand because I don't have a kid of my own, right?
Right, or you could be like, oh, why can't you come out on Fridays no more? Like, bitch, because I have bedtime. Like, I gotta like, put kids down.
Whereas we could just send each other the emoji eyes at 9 o'clock and we're out. Period. By like 11:30. Yeah. Well, midnight messing with Makita.
Well, that's the only time that matters, let's be real.
It's a real thing. But
and then what happened? I'm insecure.
Okay, so from there. Okay, then we started talking about Molly is talking about how she wants Andrew to open up more. First of all, I don't think that she deserves Andrew. That's a whole other story. She wants him to open up more. I personally feel that she needs to calm it down with like the vulnerability like thing.
She just does a lot. I don't think she's calmed down with the vulnerability.
It's so soon.
You gotta like know what you want. But remember season 2, he was chasing her, so it's not really that soon. But what I do think she has to do is, I think she should say what she wants. There's nothing wrong with saying like, hey, I'm looking for something more. I want to get to know a person. I am looking to build something. But I think what she does is she doesn't outright say it, and then she gets mad when she doesn't get what she wants. But it's like, you have to tell people what you're looking for and let them opt into it or not. But like, you can't be mad at somebody for not like meeting your expectation when you haven't shared like what the expectation is.
Yeah, and we're talking about, so there's a couple of things that I took from the Molly and Andrew situation. Is that for one, you know, you guys are first just on dating and stuff like that, and they started the relationship off wrong. If you wanted something different from him, which for him to be vulnerable, for you to get to know him, to know about his family and such like that, you guys started off with the sex. So like,
but do you think that she knew that at the beginning, that that's what she wanted? Because sometimes you don't know that, and then it changes.
Not to say that it has anything to do with her not knowing what she wanted, but that's the exact reason why she has to be a little bit more gentle in her approach, because it's just like, I get that maybe you didn't want that before and you wanted it now, but you also have to be gentle with him, because that's not the page that he's on, so you gotta kind of let him slide in and transition to that. And I also felt like, you know, like as someone who has dated guys that are, you know, have been emotionally unavailable, and I never understood that. I think there's a way that you have to approach men that are emotionally unavailable or not vulnerable. In a sense, you kind of have to let them kind of come to you. It's just kind of like, I hate to say this, but it's kind of like an abandoned dog or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta feed him, let him know. Yeah, you just gotta, you know, when you rescue your dog or whatever. And this is completely not, you know, comparing humans to animals, but in a sense it's that same kind of scenario. When you see a dog or you meet a new dog, it's like you gotta, you know, let them sniff your hand, let them know that it's a safe space, let them know that it's okay. So you can let the dog or whatever know that it's a safe space all you want. Hey, I just want to pet you, buddy, here's a treat or whatever. You can let them know, but they have to know for sure and understand and feel your energy and know that they can trust you. So I think with men that are afraid to be vulnerable, they have to know for sure. And it's honestly, there's no really like real rule book to that. Like, you gotta have some sort of like, you have to show them in different ways that you care. You gotta learn what their love language is, one, and like, or just do different things. Like, did you eat? Like, you know, make, you know what I'm saying, doing like little things that show them that you care. Like, I was having a conversation with someone that was trying to get their podcast going, and we were talking about those sort of things, like love languages. Like, if I'm on the phone with you and you say, oh man, I ran out of my favorite ginger ale and I can't go to the store and get it, whatever. And so I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna bring this to you. Like, yeah, you said something, you know, just something thoughtful, like,
little
you know,
acts of service.
Yeah, and so it just lets you know and that works on anybody, you know what I'm saying? Just lets you know they're listening. But I feel like, as someone that has dealt with and dated men that are not vulnerable, I felt like even she was coming at him a little bit too hard. Like when they did dinner and stuff like that. Shout out to him for being honest though, and he told her that food was salty.
Okay.
So that was.
But he ended up coming back and apologizing to her. He was like, "Listen, you know," he called her. And
he apologized.
I didn't react the way that I should react. Like, it's hard for me to open up, which I feel like was validating for Molly, because I definitely don't think that she's asking for a lot. I think she's
not, but she
was clear about saying that she was being pushy, but she was clear about saying like, I just want to talk. I don't want to have sex. Like, let's stay in. I just want to like get to know you.
Yeah.
So I feel like she was kind of clear on like setting the frame, or like that's what she wanted, but he was definitely like really working hard to not share anything. He would like say something about his sister. Oh, I don't want to talk about it, or like.
And she's like, why do you want you don't know where your sister is? Like,
but it's like, but if you say that, if you were like, oh yeah, I've got a sister, and you're like, oh, like, okay, like, what does she do? And you're like, I don't know where she is. Like, I feel like my immediate would be like, how come you don't know where your sister is? Like that, I would just, as a human, I would want to follow up on that statement, but I digress. I think that the most interesting thing about the episode was that Issa Lawrence scenario.
Yeah, Issa Lawrence, I feel like they're definitely about to have sex again.
Probably.
How do you feel? Okay, so there's a couple of things that are going on here. How do you feel about the fact that Lawrence told Issa that she didn't need to tell Condola about the meeting?
I don't like it. Fine for him to meet up with her, to have the conversation face to face, not use Condola as a third party. I thought that was the right choice, but the wrong choice to say, don't tell her that we met up. I think what Lawrence needed to do was meet up with Issa and talk to her face to face, and then tell Condola or whatever her name is, hey, I talked to Issa because I definitely am not comfortable with that, and I just wanted to let you know, like, I set the same boundary with her that I set with you.
Because I mean, like, honestly, in that situation, I wouldn't have told him that we talked about him. Like, I mean, of course he's gonna assume anyway that you're talking about him, but
I would have answered how she, like, I would have told the truth. We weren't talking about you.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just would have been like, just kept that to myself. Honestly, I wouldn't be kikiing about him anyway.
But do you think that, like, but I don't even know if I would classify that as kikiing, because I feel like there's no possible way for Issa and Condola to make an adult decision to be friends or business partners at minimum and not address the elephant in the room. There is no possible way that they can move forward without addressing it. And it came up in conversation. No one was like, oh, like, you know, Lawrence, like, no one intentionally brought him up. It just came up into conversation, and I feel like they had to address it. I don't disagree with that, but I don't think that they were like kikiing, or like, there's no way to avoid talking about the person.
I mean, yeah, it's just,
you have to talk about them.
It's just awkward in terms of like, oh my gosh, she likes mayo and his fries. I'd be like, no.
I think that they were trying to find common ground, and unfortunately their common ground is Lawrence. But I think as long as they weren't going into details like, oh, why'd y'all break up? Or like, tell me, you know, like the bad things about, like, what didn't you like that is obviously out of line. But just saying like,
yeah,
oh,
but this is the thing. This is what's gonna happen. That's gonna screw them over. Is that Condola and Issa are gonna become close, and then when she's having issues with Lawrence, she's gonna try to confide in Issa, and that's where the lines are gonna get blurred. I feel like the line, she's definitely gonna do that. I feel like she's gonna be like, well, you know him better than anybody. What would you do in a situation that it's gonna become awkward?
Yeah, but see, then I'd be like, that's not my place.
Yeah, and so I hope that when that happens, that she says that. I also want to cut to the scene where the guys met up and talked about it. That was hilarious. It's like, yo, dudes really be talking like this. Like, he was like, I tell her to like keep her name out of my mouth. But then his friend, when he was like, he said, see, because you can't do that because this is gonna happen. Then she's gonna be all sad. She's gonna be gonna have to have sex with her, and it's just like, I just don't really want that problem. Like, where's the cauliflower crust? Like, he's hella funny. And then you have Tiffany's husband in there, which I'm telling you guys right now.
I move.
I'm telling you guys right now, and I feel like that's a foreshadowing to something, but I'm telling you guys right now, that baby is not his. It's not his kid. That's not his baby. It's not.
I mean, I don't know.
That's not his baby. It's not his baby. I'm telling you right now. I put that on everything.
I'm ready for the next episode.
I'm ready to see what happens because why do you think, last question about this episode, we'll get done with it. Why do you think that Molly lied to Issa at the end of the episode about her? Because don't you think, if I'm saying to you as a friend, damn, you just don't want to be happy, don't you? You're always looking for something bad, and
I would think she would immediately be like, see, he just apologized. I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. I try to be vulnerable in here, but it was weird.
I feel like Molly dishes out what she can't take. And I think that because she feels, and I have said this before, I think that Molly genuinely feels that she's a better person than Issa. I think that she.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, she looks down on Issa, and so I think that she doesn't have the ability to take what she dishes out. So she, like the last episode, how she was like, "Oh, look, I'm just holding you accountable," and I just think that you like being messy. And Issa gave her the same accountability. Like, I feel like you're always looking for something to be wrong, and I feel like sometimes like, you don't get tired, like you just don't want to be happy. And she gave her the honest to God truth, and Molly was not with that. And I think that she has energy for Issa saying that.
But Molly had to address a couple of uncomfortable truths this episode. It's from Issa and also from her coworker Torian. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had to address that because
what
he
do you
was
want?
like, first of all, you threw me under the bus with that last case,
Mm-hmm.
and so, but don't try to give me the small talk we're
Now,
cool.
right.
Like, don't try to do that. And so she had to unearth and address some of these uncomfortable truths of like, no, like you literally are stepping on other people's necks just to bring yourself up, and at the end of the day, you're looking around and it doesn't feel so good. You know, you're stepping on, not to say that she's stepping on Issa, but she has to. You know what I'm saying? At some point, all of us have to look in the mirror. Like I can give you advice all day as a friend and say things, but then it's different when I have to address my own ugly truths or some of the things. You know what I'm saying? Like I can give you the best advice all day and not take my own.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think she had to. I feel like we're gonna definitely learn. Molly is going to grow this episode, this season. We're gonna
Hopefully.
see some growth from her because she's already addressing some of the really ugly truths about her. So we'll see. I'm ready for next episode. I really want to know. I want to know more about Kelly's life. Like
I do. I would love to watch Kelly. Okay, so before we get up out of here, what we're going to do is play a game as per usual. So we got a little this or that game from He Said Pod. So shout out to Jay and Ray over there.
Yeah, follow at He Said Pod on Instagram.
So they've got a couple categories, and we are gonna actually do rapid fire for once. We're gonna try.
We're gonna do actual rapid fire.
I looked and I feel like y'all gonna try to take
It's
my
a
black card
rapid
for a
fire. Oh
couple.
my gosh.
But if you have some that are like controversial, I feel like you should be able to elaborate on like why you need both or whatever your controversial opinion.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this or that TV edition: Friends or Living Single?
Living single, absolutely, no question.
I love Living Single, but Friends does get honorable mention for me. I don't care what anybody says. Friends is very funny.
All right, Valerie. Take a
I don't
sip,
care, but I prefer Living Single. But I feel like
I prefer Living Single. That's what I never watched Friends. So I never
I really watch Friends, but what I hate when people who've like seen Friends are like, Friends is just like not funny, and it's like, or like objectively it's funny. Is it better than Living Single? No, but it's like for people to be like, oh, it's like a terrible show. Like y'all niggas are reaching. Friends is funny.
Sure, but it was also Living Single.
Oh, it's
also
stolen.
crawled so that Friends could walk.
They were even out like, at the same time. I mean,
Yeah.
the producer of Friends literally said in an interview, like, you know, somebody asked him if he could take any show on air, what would he take? And he said Living Single. And then 2 years later, a year and a half later, they released Friends. Yeah, like we know that. We know it's stolen. No one is arguing that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Friends is funny.
You're one of those. Got it.
Moesha or the Parkers?
Moesha, because Moesha crawls so the Parkers could walk.
Okay, Moesha is hands down.
Yeah.
Yep. This Is Us or Parenthood? This Is Us for me. I've never watched Parenthood, and This Is Us is so good. So like,
Parenthood.
I don't even know who's on
Robert
that show.
Townsend. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a really good show. Yeah. Parenthood. Off top.
Do you watch This Is Us?
This Is Us.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an odd kind of
So
comparison.
good.
This Is Us
It was
versus
about
Parenthood.
families. I don't know what.
I watch a little bit of This Is Us,
the black family.
but I feel like those two shows don't necessarily compare. I would compare the Parenthood to Family Matters. They honestly do not get any honorable mention when we're talking about black family
Family
sitcoms.
Matters? I
Yeah,
know,
Family
it's so
Matters.
good.
Yeah, Family Matters is good, but I would prefer Parenthood over Family Matters. But This Is Us, I don't really watch that show, so I'll say the Parenthood.
Oh, okay. Sex in the City or Girlfriends?
Girlfriend's on top. But I
love
never
Sex and the
mind.
City.
I'm sorry, I'm
Sex and
going
the
Sex
City.
and the City. I'm like,
I was gonna say, this is one
that's
I could
not
take my
fair,
black
that's
card
not fair.
from.
I need all of them.
I'm
I don't
taking
want my
Sex and
black
the
card
City.
gone, but I will say, when we're talking about Sex and the City, Sex and the City did such an amazing job at enveloping all seasons and all things of Sex and the City and turning it into a movie. The first one, the second one, trash. But
I think
that's
it's
hard.
trash, but definitely they could have.
It was the second one
wasn't-
trash. I don't care. But Girlfriends, I love Girlfriends.
Me too, but Sex and the City just is
I
just
love-
so.
But I can
Yeah.
watch. I can watch reruns of it. But there are parts of Girlfriends that I do get tired of. Ooh, ow, don't say
See,
that. Okay.
Sex and the City is my choice. Thank you.
Damn, I don't want to say that. Okay.
Ironically, this next one. Okay, The Wire or The Sopranos?
I'm just gonna say The Wire because there's black people because never watched either one of those shows.
I was just gonna say I have to pick The Wire for the culture, but I actually just started trying to watch The Sopranos because it's on
Check it.
Hulu, all of like all season. So I want to watch The Sopranos just because it's also a cultural classic, and I intend to watch The Wire. We don't got nothing but time, but
This
that
ain't
was
a
Idris
rapid fire.
Elba's.
This ain't a rapid fire.
I know this is is Idris Elba's first, show, so I feel like I gotta watch it. Okay, Scandal or Grey's Anatomy?
Scandal.
Whew.
I never really got into Grey's Anatomy.
As a Thursday person from off rip, I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. I love Shondaland, but for its longevity, I'm picking Grey's Anatomy.
I never really got into that. I need to. I know I'm bad, but
so
Scandal.
Scandal was amazing.
Until they started doing that, like, oh, we're holding her hostage. Then after that, I was over it. I was over it. I was like, this show needs to be over.
Fun fact, in case y'all were wondering, the reason why we have live tweeting of like episodes, shows when they're going on, Scandal started that. That was Kerry Washington and Shonda.
Shout out to Shonda.
Who did that. So
Shonda Rhimes is a genius.
Oh yeah, she deserves all her flowers. Okay, this or that rap edition, T.I. or Lil Wayne?
T.I.
What?
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be a resounding Lil Wayne. I'm like so concerned that you would pick T.I. over the best rapper.
I like his southern vernacular.
That nigga.
I enjoy it. But okay, if we're talking about like legends, okay, Lil Wayne. But Lil Wayne is
like that, the what do you call it? Like the complete library of Lil Wayne, like no ceilings, like what? Okay, it's Rap by Fire. I'm like so shook. J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar?
Why would you say that?
I'm picking Kendrick.
I like them both though.
Oh, so do I, but I'm picking Kendrick.
I'm from the West Coast, Kendrick.
This next one I'm shook.
Oh, I'm stressed.
Cardi B or Hot Girl Meg?
Megan. Stop. I love Megan.
I love Cardi, but
I love Cardi, but Megan. But this is the thing. I would say because Cardi, I love Cardi. I love to party with Cardi. Yeah. I love it, but like Meg, she be really like be having some like really witty stuff to say. Whereas Cardi be like, girl, what you mean? What you say?
Yeah.
You don't know.
But so Meg be writing her own shit, be popping. I fuck with it. Oof.
You can't do that. Why would they do that? Who wrote that?
Missy Elliott or
was that Jay? Who wrote that?
They did purpose. Missy or Lauryn Hill.
Missy.
I was like, I gotta pick Missy.
We're gonna her consistency for her hits. Lauryn Hill does have some good songs, but after she did the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill,
es por nada.
It was like, but Missy, she just gets good. Like she's still giving us, like she got a good like little freak song that I like. Yeah.
Me too. Okay, Biggie or Tupac? Biggie for me. Without question.
Biggie, because I like it, the cadence of the way he raps.
Yeah. Jay-Z or Nas? Jay-Z for
me. Yeah.
Okay, this or that R&B edition.
Oh, you know.
Okay, Beyonce or Solange?
Beyonce. But
Usher or The Weeknd? I love The Weeknd, but
Usher.
That's not even a comparison. Exactly. The Weeknd, he's one of my faves, but that could never be a comparison.
But he didn't do Superstar, Bad Girl, or Confessions album by.
Oh, okay. Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. Come on. Babyface or John Legend?
Babyface. That's not even a question.
John Legend is so good, but
again,
that's not
he crawled so John Legend could walk. Do you know how many people that Babyface has set up for? Come on, we're not even gonna do it.
Sierra or Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
If you nasty.
Crawled so that Sierra could walk. She's literally mixing Michael Jackson and Janet.
Mary J. Blige or Keisha Cole?
Mary J. Blige. She crawled so Keisha Cole.
She went all the way down.
She went all the way down, and she was on drugs and all kinds of things just to give us good music. It's a lot.
Ooh, okay. This or that. Girl group edition.
Girl group. Let's do it. Come on.
In Vogue or Escape?
Escape.
Oh,
what is going on? Escape? My Little Secret?
I don't know. I just feel like I
understand
more.
How can we communicate?
I know, but I feel like
I'm not gonna lose Escape. You broke my heart. I mean, they have done some great stuff. Escape. That's what I grew up on.
I don't know. Okay, TLC or Black?
TLC off top, but Black does got boom like 808. I'm into it. Yeah.
702 used to be my shit too.
Ooh. See, he's my property.
Okay, bitch. This is why I've been fucking what do you call it, possessive my whole life.
Yeah. Where my girl at? Front to back. Is you feeling that? I put one hand up. Can you repeat that? Try to take my man. See, I don't need that. So don't play yourself.
Okay. That's my jam. I'm gonna listen to this when we get off of here.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child or the Supremes? Destiny's
Child, because
the Supremes obviously laid
they're legends, but I grew up on Destiny's Child.
3LW or Cherish? 3L. 3LW. Cherish wasn't. They only had like 2
But
songs.
they had the A.
They had one song.
Feeling really unappreciated. And then they did the Show and Tell. I'm gonna have to pick Cherish over 3LW because
I feel like 3LW had
was
more.
like, I'm getting really tired. They only had 2 songs.
I feel like they had
really
longer
rock with.
like cultural influence.
Players because now these days players are gonna play and promises and stuff.
I don't know.
Cherish, I like Cherish because Cherish I really related to.
I only knew 2 of their songs. Okay, Danity Kane or Pussycat Dolls.
That's really hard. We in the car, we drive slow and doing things that the girls don't do.
But Pussycat Dolls was all the
But,
bops.
yeah, don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Pussycat Dolls.
Same. We can't do the videos. You know, we just be on here forever. Don't
Yeah,
we?
I like it. It's fine.
Ooh, okay, this last one. Tough. Total or SWV?
SWV off top for the vocals alone. Shout out to Coco because she was doing that, sweetheart.
Yeah, SWV. That's the one for me.
That's me.
Okay, we have one last thing, but I feel like we could save it for next week.
Next week
because we'll have a shorter
Yeah,
episode.
we'll still be in quarantine.
Because we'll learn how to actually, stay on time.
Yeah.
It's hard without, Jordan telling us what to do and, in
Miss you,
quarantine.
Jordan.
We're just here
Miss you,
talking and
girl.
having fun on camera. It's harder to do and harder to stay on task. So we hope that y'all enjoyed all, 27 hours of this video.
Because we enjoyed y'all. It's been an amazing 420.
Okay, and that's also part of why this episode has been so long, we just...
Is it? Is it? I don't know what happened.
We've been chilling.
We've been chilling. We've been having a great time. We've been at the crib. So,
Tell them what they need to know about us.
okay. Follow us on Instagram at Black and City Pod. Follow myself at Sierra Tulion. Follow Makita here at Bayesian_Batty. If you don't understand how to spell Bayesian, I'm sorry for you. Ask Rihanna. I don't know.
You should know by now.
You should know by now. But
I feel like that's it.
that's it from us. There's no local lookout because there's no where to go.
Nothing
There's nowhere to go. So just follow us and we'll see.
Support local black brands online. Buy stuff if you're shopping.
Yeah, buy stuff online if you can do that. Local businesses are great. I've gotten, maybe next week we can share some of the local businesses that we have been supporting.
Oh, totally. I do have a list.
Yeah, we have a list. We talked about, last week we talked about Almost Business.
Yeah.
24.
In Seattle. Oh, 24/7 in the mix.
In the mix. She's got some great stuff. I'm going to actually look at that after this episode.
There's a lot of restaurants in your neighborhoods. If you're in Seattle, make sure you go to Island Soul, Pam's Kitchen, go to Jerk
And Miss
Shack.
Pam is cooking.
She be cooking.
Miss Pam is cooking.
What are some other black ones? I don't know.
Taste of the Caribbean.
Did I say that? Maybe I didn't.
You said Island Soul. I be getting mixed up.
Taste of the Caribbean is also black owned. Go to places and not only black owned businesses, but Asian owned businesses. So support those businesses in your area because racism is real.
Especially in the
in
Chinatown.
Yeah, go to the ID if you're in Seattle.
Or the International District for those of you who want to be super politically correct. But go over there and support those businesses because they need to thrive as well. So yeah, they need us, and that's what all the businesses are learning, that they need us. So let's help them help the community. But we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Okay, bye. Bye.